Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonics Money Transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics.
Madam Sarah, how are you? Yes. Very good.
kuy wut fu muy fanaan ak kuy wut ku ko wétali xanaa delloo buntu gi warul na boole Yaa Fatus Guest House tijjil na leen buntu bi ñu ngi leen fa am ak ñaari cabinet salle yu yaña
amal leen li nga xamantene mooy cabinet ak salle ñu ngi leen amal AC ak fan
salle bi nag lépp li ngeen soxla am na fa sofa yu nooy ñoo fa nekk TV bang fa cabinet boo dugga lal yu nooy leen fa amal nañ leen fa AC ak li nga xam ne moom mooy fan toilet yu set wicc amal nañ leen fa kitchen microwave fridge and room bu baax dama ne teranga day mut moo taxit Yaa Fatus Guest House amal leen extra kitchen lépp lu ngeen bëgg a togg mun ngeen ko toggee si gas cooker bii nii
kuy xalam di si jaayu nag barke bi yaay borom amal ne li nga xamantene mooy ndox ak courant 24/7 bu leen tiit bu leen ragal bu leen xof ndax amal ne li di CCTV caméra
set si leen ñu si Farafenni gannaaw garage basse bi Kawur highway
very clean every day am na cleaning service ratio bi amul fenn
Yaa Fatus Guest House teranga aduna bët kon nag seet si leen ñu
guluje yimɓe ka hoore leydi woni ko ƴetti ndu pikiiɗo coronavirus noon ko
Tell the DPS to leave the consultant. It's just
guluje yimɓe ka hoore leydi woni ko ƴetti ndu pikiiɗo coronavirus noon ko goonga anda ɓale anda dane anda paykun anda mawɗo wari africans ɓe ɓuri ka hoore leydi sabu noon ala lekki kono kibaruji welɗi ɗi woni ndu heɓi haray pikiiro
ɓayna fo ñetti o vaccin jol ko kala yo reno ɓeddindi laabi ko ɗum ɗon ko fewno coronavirus no woodi o ñawono
guluje yimɓe ka hoore leydi woni ko ƴetti ndu pikiiɗo coronavirus noon ko goonga anda ɓale anda dane anda paykun anda mawɗo wari africans ɓe ɓuri ka hoore leydi sabu noon ala lekki kono
of the ministry directors, the deputy permanent secretary, Mr. Dampa, the staff of the ministry and the satellite institution. Yes. Welcome to our maiden press conference in 2022, and here we are today to update you on the recovery season from 2021 to 2022. So we are all welcome here. First, before we call on the Minister of Tourism and Culture, can we please pray in our various ways? Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister of Tourism and Culture, Honorable Hamat Bah, you have the floor now.
Thank you, Madam Gom, the Information Officer of the Ministry of Tourism and Culture. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, the Permanent Secretary, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Government Spokesman, Mr. Sankare, Chairman of the Board, Directors of the various satellite institutions, the managers of the various directorates in those institutions, and of course, members of the press, good morning to you. I decided to call this press conference today to update you on the situation regarding the tourism sector, the Ministry of Tourism and its all satellite institutions, the Tourism Board, the Gambia Tourism Hospitality Institute, and of course, the National Center for Arts and Culture. Just to update you on so far how much we have gone in trying to bring back tourism as it was, not of course to 100% prior to COVID, but I'll also just to brief you to show you what we have done and the achievement that we have attained since we worked on our recovery program in the last couple of months, together with our stakeholders and all other government institutions that have been partnering with us. And indeed, of course, we must thank the ministry, the permanent secretary, and her entire staff for the job and effort they've been investing in this endeavor. And of course, we also know that the Gambia Tourism Board, Director General and his staff, and the Director General of the National Center for Arts and Culture and his staff, and the Director General of GTHI and his staff, and all other associations and all other stakeholders who have been working tirelessly to support our recovery plan and program to revive the tourism sector because of the the pandemic, that is COVID-19. The Minister of Tourism and Culture is pleased to inform the gathering of the latest flight operations to the Gambia, in which TUI Netherlands started its operation on the 19th of February with a Boeing 737-800 series after 2 years of absence due to COVID-19 pandemic. They will operate all year round, and plans are on the way to increase TUI group flights frequencies to 12 flights per week from 2022 to 2023 winter season. 6 flights from Holland, 2 flights from Belgium, 4 flights from the United Kingdom. Destination Gambia currently receives 53 flights per week at the Banjul International Airport. Chartered flights are 16 flights, scheduled flights are 37 flights per week, respectively. The chartered flight includes Corendon 3 flights a week, TUI UK 4 flights a week, Gambia Experience 2 flights a week, TUI Holland 2 flights a week, TAP Portugal 3 flights a week, Violin 2 flights a week, and hopefully Rainbow will be flying once a week from Poland. We are working on that. We are also working on trying to get back Binta Canaria. Discussions are on the way. There are financial requirements they've put before us, and we are trying to see how we can work it out. Meanwhile, whilst we were in Madrid in January, we met the Minister of Tourism of Spain, and we had very fruitful discussions. The Spanish government promised was going to do something to support and help for the resumption of the Binta Canaria flight, which is another important flight that connects Spain and Gambia. As you're aware, Spain and Gambia is about 2 hours flight from Las Palmas. It's about just 2 hours flight to Banjul. So we are trying to get that flight back, and there are a lot of tourists who are coming on that flight. Then, with regards to scheduled flights, Air France is coming daily. Air Peace come 4 times a week. Air Sky 4 times a week. Air Senegal 6 flights a week. Transair 3 times a week. Royal Air Morocco 5 times a week. Turkish Airline 2 times a week. Brussels Airline 6 times a week. The chartered flights are the flights that are coming exclusively with tourists. The scheduled flights are the ones that come with tourists and other passengers. So in total, we're expecting about at least 37? Is it 37? 37 flights. No, 53 flights. 53 total flights to Banjul International Airport. And that makes a difference for us. The Ministry of Tourism and Culture and the Gambia Tourism Board will continue to work with its tourism stakeholders towards restoring more confidence and tourism growth for Destination Gambia that can translate into more flights and visitors to Destination Gambia. In the same vein, other achievement of the Ministry of Tourism and Culture are that the ministry, in collaboration with the Gambia Tourism Board, had coordinated on several occasions vaccination campaign and exercises in various locations in the tourism development area for employees of the tourism industry to be vaccinated in order to boost customer confidence on Destination Gambia as a safe travel. All throughout the period, my ministry have been working hard, hand in glove, with other stakeholders. Example, the hoteliers, international tour operators, tourism SMEs, paving the way to opening the tourism industry. And here we are today witnessing the arrivals of chartered flights for the first time since the start of COVID-19 pandemic. Also, for the first time in the history of the Gambia, we are witnessing Air France flying to the Gambia daily. Let me just give a brief background history on the issue of the Air France. When I went with the president in 2017 on a state visit to France, one of the things that we took over with the French government was to get Air France to fly to the Gambia. Because we got a lot of complaints, Gambians who were based in Paris, that they suffer a lot going through other airlines. Sometimes they lose their luggages, a lot of problems they were going through. So we took it up with the French government to encourage also French tourists to come to the Gambia, to make it easier for tour operators can fly tourists from France to the Gambia. Well, the French government said it was a private company. They would discuss with them, and we started the negotiation. And since then, Air France was working on it with the help of Mr. Sarbel El Haj and other people. It took us about 3-4 years to get Air France to come to Gambia. And finally, they are here now, coming on daily basis. We are only requesting at least for 3 flights a week. Now we got 6 flights a week turning to the Gambia. They were flying Bamako, Banjul, but I think now they are flying Banjul, Monrovia because of the sanctions in Bamako. But it's good to have them here because that creates another competition with SN Brussels and TAB and other airlines, Turkish Air. Because if you realize the prices, you would see that now the fares will start going down because the market is there. People are there to buy tickets, and of course the services are also there. So we believe that that has been a very successful venture, bringing Air France to the Gambia. And you know, it's an international class airline. We all know that, and they offer one of the best services. So we believe that we'll continue all efforts to make so. And regards the issue of vaccination, this government believed, and from day one, that COVID PCR certificates are not the solution. We believe since there was a vaccine, as a government, we encourage all Gambians to go and get vaccinated. And that was why we came up with that press release to encourage tourism establishment related services that staff must be vaccinated. And that restored confidence internationally on tour operators to bring people to the Gambia. During our last month trip to Madrid, we took it up with the United Nations World Tourism Organization Secretary General that the Gambia's position is that we should avoid we should remove all the travel restrictions in the world. And we strongly advocated for that position. And we made it clear to the Secretary General that it is not about restriction. COVID is here to stay. We're going to live with COVID as we are living with malaria, as we live with cholera and other viruses. And that argument has been bought. Today, you've realized that most countries, even today, UK this morning, remove most of the restrictions. And you know that Netherlands and Sweden, Australia, many countries have followed that idea. So the Gambia has always been advocating for this. And that's why Gambia was the first country in Africa to allow vaccinated passengers to come without a COVID certificate. Because we believe that it was good to take initiative to innovate, to come with policies that would really attract visitors to this country. And that policy now has been copied by almost everybody. We were among the 5 countries in the world and the first here in the African continent to allow people vaccinated without a PCR certificate. And that is paying dividends today. As we speak today, the United Nations, the UNWTO Secretary General is with the WHO Secretary General in Geneva, discussing these issues with him to encourage people to vaccinate. And we now remove this issue of restriction and let people be vaccinated. And really, that would allow people to travel on holidays and enjoy themselves in different parts of the world. So the Gambia's argument and position remains firm, and we are happy that a lot of people are now copying it, with the exception of Hong Kong. I think that's the only place I know in the world which is not moving towards what the Gambia have been advocating from day one. So we believe and we want to encourage Gambians. If we really want people to trust our destination, let's go and get vaccinated. I think it's important that we send this message across, and we appeal to the media to help promote this idea of getting people vaccinated. And you know, the plus thing that we have in this, the Gambia has got a certificate that is now digitalized. Our COVID certificate is digitalized. Our COVID certificate is accepted in UK and many parts of the world. So if you have the ordinary certificate before you go and change it to have the digital certificate, because when you have the digital certificate, you can use that to travel in most parts of the world without any further restriction. So we congratulate the Ministry of Health, our partners, for coming up with that, with all that effort to get that certificate digitalized. And I think that's a great achievement, and it complements the arrival of tourists in this country because it makes it easier for everybody. So, similarly, let me get back to this one. Similarly, 3 feeder roads within the West Coast development area are identified for construction. There's the Tamala Kinta Kunte Access Road, the Senegambia football field towards Mansio Beach Hotel, and Golden Seafood Lemon Creek Hotel Access Road. Both Kunta Kinte and Senegambia football field are currently under construction. Lemon Creek will start soon, since we are working with the NRA on the level aspect of the road. The ministry, in collaboration with the Minister of Health through the GT board, establishes COVID testing centers in the TDA at the BB Craft Market in Kotu, and we are working on trying to get 3 more other centers within the tourism development areas. Hotels were encouraged to reserve rooms or in designated area for isolation in case of any positive cases. It is important to note only symptomatic positive cases, very rare for those with fully vaccinated, may be referred to clinics on advice of staff of the Ministry of Health. The ministry, through GT board and with support from International Trade Center, Youth Empowerment Project, YEP, had trained employees and vendors of the industry, formal and informal sector, business on these guidelines, as well as on inspection, prevention, and control. This training, which were conducted in all the regions of the country, helped the employees and vendors of the tourism industry to be equipped with knowledge and skills in control and prevention of the spread of COVID-19 virus in the industry, as well as in their various communities. The ministry had also, through the government, through the Gambia Tourism Board, distributed face masks throughout the country. Distributed face masks throughout the country. And for the Gambia, for the GTHI, for Gambia Tourism Hospitality Institute, also, which is a satellite institute of the Ministry of Tourism, the development of a revised curriculum to international standards in tourism and hospitality with adequate teaching and learning materials at certificate level that meets the needs of the industry nationwide. Provide professional tourism and hospitality vacation training for over 3,500 youth during the period under review. Facilitate training at master's degree level for members of staff. Establish a fully equipped bakery center in the capacity to train 100 bakers and pastry cooks every year. We want to increase this number. We are collaborating with the Ministry of Trade to make sure that we train at least 200 bakers in the country, because we want to take over the bakery industry back into the hands of Gambians. And the only way we can do this is to train Gambians to be able to take it over. We've started that with 100 Gambians. We want to increase that. We are collaborating with the Ministry of Trade so that young Gambians can be trained to be bakers, and we start baking our own bread, our own Gambian bread, and not foreigners baking our bread. And that's one of our key objectives as a ministry, and we are working on that as we speak. The establishment on a digital library with volumes of reading materials. The development of GTHI application for digital e-learning. This application has facilitated curriculum delivery during the COVID-19 pandemic, which led to schools closure. As a result, the institution did not lose time during this period. In a bid to decentralize tourism activities nationwide, an expansion program in tourism and hospitality training in rural Gambia is initiated in Janjambure and in Central River region in partnership with YEP, with 240 young Gambians build capacity and create employment opportunities. Establishment of a research unit within the task of developing international recipes using local ingredients, thus creating better linkages with agriculture. Cooperation agreement with École Nationale de Formation Hôtelière et Touriste of Dakar, Casa Africa of Spain, EI visiting pastry lecturer from Dakar to cover pastry 2 units of diploma level for 1 month in the Gambia. Closer cooperation and collaboration with private sector which has resulted in the review of student internship, resulting in earlier commencement of the placement in hotels in preparation for the engagement all year round tourism. GTHI teaching and learning app for virtual distance learning has been developed. We have also extended scholarships to some of our neighboring countries. Few scholarships, I think 2 per country, to come, and we extend our hospital to help them train them to be able to train people in their various countries. We have also done that. And I think this is Guinea-Bissau, Sierra Leone, which other, I think a couple of other countries, we have extended this gesture and then offered them 2 scholarships to bring their citizens to be trained in the Gambia. It's yours. NCAC. Yes. For the National Center for Arts and Culture, the NCAC, with support from the Minister of Tourism, Gambia Tourism Board, has continued to financially support the successful organization of festival in the past 2 months. Alone, close to 10 festivals and more are coming. For Kankurang Festival, GT Board supported over 550,000 to ensure a successful festival. Other festivals supported by NCAC and GT Board are as follows. Kankurang Festival, that's the Janjambure one. Next year, we intend to have it at a national level because it will be 200 years anniversary for the arrival of slaves at Janjambure, free slaves from Janjambure. We will need to have a national festival for that one because we want to make it international. The 200 years of arrival of return of slaves to Janjambure. Banjul was 2016 and Janjambure was 2023, yes. So 1823. So we want to internationalize that one. And of course, have an international festival where Root Festival also will be incorporated. So we'll have 1 week of festivities throughout the country to mark that particular very important year in Gambian history. Then you have the Bailunka Festival, which of course just ended no longer. The Dance Gambia Festival, Sutukoba Festival, Nyanija Festival, Jemma Chochosan Festival, Abuko Jali Suso Festival. Support to Banjul cultural groups. Also in last December, we supported all the night activities or the hunting societies in Banjul. We gave them support, all of them, because we also don't want that culture to disappear or fade into insignificance. We want to maintain, because we see a lot of tourists come to attend that program for all over the world. Gambians all over the world really come to attend that activity, that festivity. So we as a ministry, we thought it was important to support them financially so that they will have more enhancement in getting the program done better. On heritage, the works for the rehabilitation of Mongo Park Memorial Obelisk is at the Karantaba will be officially kicked off by the Honorable Minister in few weeks. That means the Mongo Park Memorial has been left out for so long and nothing was done by government. And this government believes that something needs to be done because we want our children to learn, who will read about Mongo Park. When they go, they will find something there that they can recollect, that they can remember, that they can talk about. So we are trying to build state-of-the-art facilities at that place. I mean, the tender is already done, and I think they are on the process of finalizing the bidder who actually won the bid to finalize necessary documentation for them to start work. Following the completion of all the needed procurement processes, 1.8 million has been given to NCAC by the Ministry for the Rehabilitation, which will include side museum, perimeter fence, and visitors' convenience. The Honorable Minister will use the same period to formally open the fully refurbished Kerbach Stone Circle perimeter fence, Stone Circle site in Nanija, which was also refurbished with monies from the government of the Gambia from our development budget. The works included water supply, new perimeter fence, and a new side museum exhibition and office spaces and visitors' convenience. Close to 25 community youths in Bara and environment and Wasu and environment have been trained in tour guiding, and also women in these heritage host communities have been trained in various skills to make souvenirs. And we also want to confirm that Wasu also is completed. The Wasu Stone Circle museum, and the rest of it, that one also is completed. And as we speak now, we are working with the World Bank to make sure that at least Kunta Kinte Island is restored back to its glory, and many other sites that are about to sink. So a lot of efforts are on the way. We've gone too far, too advanced, but since we are not yet there, we just have to say that we know it should be done, and we are working on it to get it done. I think on that note, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Permanent, if I have forgotten something that you want to add, you're most welcome, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Now we welcome you, and we'll open up for few questions for clarity and any further information you want to give out something. Yes. The tourism policy, let me also say it. Well, the tourism policy is completed, validated, and we just now have to cost it and to get it implemented. That's what we are working on. You know that we also got the cultural policy done 2 years ago. So because we were working without a policy, and the policy will dictate the strategies that you're going to employ. So we now have to complete that one and work on upgrading the master plan, which I've also, we found all these documents were obsolete. They are all outdated. But I believe as an institution, you need to have a policy in place to direct you as to how you strategize in getting your things done. Oh, so we are working on that. And on that note, Mr. Government Spokesman, you are also welcome. If you have anything to add, before we float the questions, you need to have something. Anybody else who want to add something that I left out, Dauda? Hasum, are you sure? Yes, yes. So anything, Sankare? Madam Senghor, anything? DPS? Okay, good. So now we'll allow, Madam, can you control the question? And we allow them few questions. You see, the reason why we did this is to restore confidence in Gambians. Those who thought we've lost it. We've not lost it. We were behind the scene working to bring this thing back because we know the importance of tourism to this country. We know our youths need these jobs. We know our men and women need this job. So we were doing everything possible to make sure that we get tourism back. It's not restored 100%. Before the banks would start running after hoteliers and others to pay their debts. We are recovering, we are moving, we are just kickstarting. We are just let the banks understand that we are just moving now. So we are not yet there, but we are moving towards there. And we believe that the future is very bright and people have started coming. But let them understand this will have a lot of things to sort out locally. And as a result, they still need the space to be able to move on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable, for those wonderful updates. And I think I can assure the media that this will not be, this is the first and it will not be the last. We will continue to update the media as development unfolds. And now we invite Yunus Salu to ask this question. Yunus, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. You have given your speech, and we see that most of what you have said revolve around the Nairobi recovery plan.
Yes.
And one thing is almost left out that probably that live here about it is how you will market the tourism within Africa, because it's part of the Nairobi.
Thank you very much. This is a center stage of this government. We believe that regional tourism is one of the solutions we need to adopt to. Because if you realize the number of Africans who are going out of Africa for holidays, they are in millions. If those people were to spend their holidays within Africa, that would have moved the African GDP to a higher level. Some of them are in Miami, some of them are in Paris, London, Tokyo, all over the world they fly. With a lot of money they go to spend to enjoy with their families. So this government is aware of that. And one of the few countries we are targeting right now is the West African market, particularly countries that are around us, including Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, Mali, all these countries. Once there is connectivity, it makes it easier. Our biggest problem now is air connectivity in this sub-region. And not only air connectivity, but the high cost of airfares is a problem. If you look at the countries where there's a lot of movement of tourists, you find air tickets with budget airlines very reasonable. You can fly from Munich to London with €50. You can fly from Brussels to Casablanca with 100 euro. You can fly from Paris to London with less than 100 euro. Different areas, different part to Germany for about 50 euros. So, but use budget airlines. So we need to find a way how we can really encourage this budget airline to come and operate here. So that even as you grade 10, you can save your money for 2 months, 3 months, fly with your family to Bamako, come back, or to any other region and spend a holiday and come back. So really, these are things we need to work on. Right now, it's easy to fly. When you are in Cape Verde, you can fly easily to Brazil without a lot of money. Cape Verdean go there on holidays for about $500 on holidays. So I see no reason why we cannot get tourists to come here fly, because the air connectivity, it is not there. It is making it difficult. And that's why, as a government, we have to work with stakeholders and partners. How do we create this air connectivity to make traveling easier in our sub-region? And the Gambia is on the move towards that. Now, there are no railways here that connect people. In Europe, people travel by rail. Some travel by car. If you travel by car, the number of checkpoints you have, sometimes you better just park your car and go. And these are some of the problems we need to address. Even within our own country now, Gambians have started going to visit their own country. We have now seen Gambians being tourists in their own country. I visit certain places when I go to Abkhaz, go to other places, and I see new establishments that are coming up. And the Gambians want to visit. We have Gambians who live all their life, they've never been to Basse. Some have never even been to Birkama. You know, at this, we want to change this attitude. We want Gambians to explore their country. But we must facilitate that. There must be companies that can create tour companies that can have fitting transport services or buses that can transport people to go on weekends and come back from different parts of the country and even neighboring Senegal, because you see Senegal is coming here in big numbers now. You go to Tamala, you go to many hotels, they are full every weekend. This is because people are coming to our country as tourists, and we need to encourage that. But our biggest challenge there is connectivity, but we are trying to address that.
Now we invite Ibrahim Diallo. Yeah, yes.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Part of my question, or the answer to my question, has been dealt with. That is the domestic tourism issue. I was going to ask how much have you achieved in terms of getting people interested in visiting places within the country. But now that you have dealt with that, but then what are you intending to what have you intended to do in the next few years to make this thing a booming market or a booming something to go about?
Well, we are right now, our program with the World Bank, if it succeeds, I think we would succeed in getting the budget airline in the Gambia. We are working on that, and both the Minister of Tourism, Minister of Finance, everybody is working on that 24 hours around the clock. We hope that we will get there and that we will be able to have the resources to get budget airlines to come to Gambia. I mean, when you want to fly to Ghana, it takes you 100 euro, you go to Ghana and come back. But the other thing that the Gambia government have done was to negotiate with the Senegalese government to domesticate the Gambia-Banjul route, to remove all taxes in it. We've signed those documents, and I think that will soon kickstart. I thought it has all even started, but somebody made to understand that it has not yet. After all the formalities have been done, I think you should fly to Dakar right now with less than $100 to Dakar, really, because all the taxes now we've agreed as two governments to remove them, to make it easier for Gambians and Senegalese to interact, to move by air. So it makes it less costly, so that we should be able to move in. We have worked on that since we came in, and last year when the president went to on a visit to Dakar, he took it up with President Sall, and from then on we have been working on it, and I think all the documents were signed as far as I know, so I don't see any reason why. I think we need to make a follow-up on that to find out what is really causing the delay in getting that done.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. During your deliberations, you made mention of the support that the tourism ministry is doing in a way to revive cultural revival. And of course, in as much as tourism is concerned, rural Gambia is also important. Hotels and other monuments and recreational centers are basically within the greater Banjul area. And culture, in as much as it is important, most of our strong cultures are in the rural areas. What is the tourism ministry doing to ensure that culture is diverse, is not only urban but rural urban?
Thank you very much. I think one of the reasons why we believe that we need to rehabilitate those sites was to make sure that we retain them in their most original form, and that to make sure that also when you go there, you visit them, you are comfortable. And that's why we invested, since we came to power, we've been investing a lot of money in making sure that really we upgrade those facilities. And that's why you see Wasu is done, Kerbaj is done, and now we are working on Kunta Kinte. We are working on all other areas of concern to make sure that really these things are addressed. Yes.
Is the ministry doing anything or any effort to try to build hotels in some of the rural areas? For example, Basse.
Yes, let me help you on that. We had initiated of building 5 lodges in the country. We started with 3 lodges, and those lodges should have been completed by now. But I think the GT board ran into trouble with the contractor, and I think that matter is being resolved immediately. And I think in the next few weeks, we will resume the construction of those lodges and complete them. That's just a start. And the Ministry of Environment also secured funding through the UN, and I think they are also on the verge of constructing some other lodges within certain parks in the country. And there are other Gambians who have also invested money in building standard hotels up country, and I think when you see them, you will like them. You have one in Basse, one in Kudang, one in Bansang, and I saw a couple of them also in the North Bank. And I think Sif Marong have just completed one in Farafenye, and I saw also in Jajari, Jara Soma, another one there. So Gambians are coming up investing in these facilities, and they're seeing the returns because they believe that Gambians want to move now. We were very static at one place. We didn't move. Now that Gambians are moving, exploring their country, I think it's better to have the standard facilities there. So we are moving on that. I can assure you that in 2 years, you can go with your family on a holiday at a cheaper rate. Yes.
Yes. My questions is, I have 2 questions, but I don't know whether I will be allowed to ask one.
Ask both, let me hear you.
Very good. You talk about festivals, and then I haven't heard the name of Jufre, part of the places that that will be having festival. And then Jufre is well known for hosting Roots Homecoming.
Thank you. Move on to the next question. I'll give you the answer.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the second question I have is with regards to the restoration of Kunta Kinte Island. If you go to Jufre, like the places where students will visit, right? The places like Stonehouse, San Domingo, those places are no-go area for students now, even tourists, because they are, I can say, they have been abandoned for many years now. I have been there just recently, and then I visited the places. I was even afraid to go there alone. I have to go with somebody else. San Domingo and Stonehouse.
Let me answer the first question, and I will ask him to comment on the other one. Right now, he has to, because that is under his responsibility. He needs to update me on that, because that's news to me. So we will ask him to throw light on that because he's responsible. Regarding the issue of festival, we have organized a committee that was in charge of organizing the International Root Festival, making it national this time. It was going to be a 7-day fact festival, and I think Yang Jai was chairman of that committee. But when COVID came, we could not move again. It got stuck somewhere. Now, what we want to do now, the Janjambure International Festival, Return of Slaves, we want to now connect it to that one, have one national festival that will take over the roots and everything together. And that hopefully next year we'll all be there to celebrate it by the grace of God. Yes, Hasum, can you comment on what he said? I think it's important.
I think when you visit before again, first you have to seek the support of the guides. Together with GT board, we train them. The idea to take you to now for like San Domingo and others. That's the context because it is found inside like a forest. Okay, and currently, in fact, we are almost fighting about that because somebody wants to clear part of it. So really, that's the context. It is sorted in that thick bush, and that's how it was put into the UNESCO list, and that's how we are want to keep it. Okay, but always you look for a guide, so that you'll be able to assist you. Anytime you go there again, and they are all there, and you don't pay them anything. Because this import and just pay them.
I have a follow-up question to that.
Yes.
Yeah, the place is the context. It is surrounded by, one can say it is in the forest, but there were infrastructures there. But those infrastructures now collapsed.
What are those infrastructures? What were they?
There are infrastructure. I mean, it's the ruins. Yes, I mean they come down. These are like 1,000 years old structures. So I mean they come down, and usually what we are told, because they are UNESCO World Heritage properties, is that to do as much as possible to minimize. Like now and then we do, tree surgery. But even to take it up, it's a very, very laborious, very technical, process that we have to go through. So we just leave the ruins as they are until there is a comprehensive, UNESCO intervention, like we have done with the CFO building. That building came down, but now you see it's up again, and it took like 3 years, of careful, work on the UNESCO supervision. I don't want to go into the very technical.
And let me add something there too, Mr. Director. The Branding Crocodile pool, we are also working on the estimate to try to protect that area, to fence it and protect it. We are working on that too. I think you've got the costing done. Yes. So we are working on that. Just to add up to that, okay? Yes. So next question.
Good morning, everyone. I have 2 questions to ask.
2.
2 questions. My first question is that you made mention of the fact that you didn't allow food stores necessarily garden without any vaccination certificate.
No. I didn't say that. You got me wrong. I didn't say that. You quoted me wrong.
Okay, let's just go with the second question.
Yes.
You also made mention of the fact that you tried to offer scholarship to neighboring countries.
Few scholars, to encourage them to test us.
Okay, do you believe that the Gambia has a very high educational standard to train people from neighboring countries? If yes, then why are Gambians seeking scholarship to other countries?
Thank you very much. I will tell you that we are one of the best institutes in Africa, one of the best. That much I can attest to that. But do we have the capacity for all of them to be trained here? The answer is no. But do we have the will and the desire to allow other countries to bring their students and pay? Yes, but you must give them the taste of it first before they can come. And that's the reason why we are doing that.
I want you to...
We are from the same village with all our trouble.
Honorable, you did spoke about the ecologists.
Yes.
I would like to know whether, because as far as our knowledge is concerned on that,
yes.
Arafat one and the...
Arafat, we have not started that yet.
Yes, and
yes.
the other ones.
Yes.
And also the contractor was supposed, GT boards
yes.
supposed to iron out some.
Yeah, they are working on it. They are finally, I think, I don't want to, because these are legal issues, but I can assure you very soon you will hear the final decision. Okay. What we have to be on the move. It must be done.
Good. I have 2 more issues that I would like to
yes, go ahead.
clarify. That is the issue of tropical and the sand mining that is going on at Tintinto.
Yes.
What is the...
Well, let me help you with tropical. I think really, I don't understand why they're talking about tropical.
What is tropical?
Tropics. Is it tropics? Let me help you. When I came to this ministry, I found that there was a contract signed by the previous government. And what they signed was they gave this construct company to build a shopping mall, and on top of the shopping mall will be the Ministry of Tourism and GT board there. I never saw this contract. I've never seen it. It was not, contract is not house here. It was a GT board. But when they told me, I told them categorically, I will never have a ministry and a GT board on top of a shopping mall. There will be no productivity. It will never happen. I said, go and renegotiate the contract. They negotiated the contract, and the man is building them a new headquarters. It will soon be ready. I don't know the noise about this for me. I really don't know why they are talking about tropics. For us, that's the knowledge we have. I have never seen this contract, and that contract is not housed here. I only insisted that I will never, as minister, be on top of a shopping mall and my agency be on top of a shopping mall. I said no. So that's all I know about this. Nothing more, really. That's why when I hear people talk about this, it becomes strange to me.
Are you satisfied with the whole deal? You know,
I didn't see it. I have not even seen it. I don't even know what is there. Tinto, where is Tinto? Let me help you. Let me help him. You see, when you ask you the answer, journalists ask question, we answer the question. Let me tell you that I got information that there was mining happening. Last Monday, there was a government task force that visited the area, including the president's office. All the ministries concerned were waiting for the report, and government will decisively take action to protect the environment of this country.
So now we have 2 more.
Okay.
Very handsome young man.
Street talk. My question is regarding the feeder routes.
Yes.
You know, we have currently we see they're about to construct 2 of them.
They are constructing, not about.
Okay. Now, how about Congo South? You have Gunju, Kartong, and those areas.
We are working on all those roads. You see, let me tell you. Yeah, let me help you. Let me help you. You are very important. No, I'm coming. You see, since in the 70s, government have not invested anything in the TDA in terms of infrastructure. When I came as a minister, I believe something needs to be done. And we could not get this money from government. So the idea I came about was, listen to me carefully. I am the one speaking, and quote me for what I'm saying. There was this policy when you apply for land, they ask you to deposit 5% of your money, and then when you complete, they give you back the money. I said, this I will not accept it. We need to raise money to build these roads, supply electricity, put lighting system and everything from here to Kato. So the idea I came with was I went to inform cabinet that I'm going to charge 10%. That when your project is approved, anywhere in the TDA, 10% of your money is deposited as a levy. But I think it was too expensive. So I felt that the businessmen were saying, I cannot give you 10% of my capital when I've not even started working. And I felt they were right. You know, you have to accept when people have genuine argument before you. I accepted the argument. I said, now I'll make it 5%. They started the 5%. That 5% money is what we have gathered to build these roads, to build these lodges, and all this road infrastructure you are seeing we are doing. And we intend to put traffic, street lights connected with internet all throughout. It's not a one-day job, but you have to start somewhere. And that's why we started. We are now on the roads. On these roads, now they are building, now they will move to the next stage. And that's why I refused that money to be used to pay salaries when COVID came. Let me reiterate, that money, I could have given the okay, but I said no. I will not give that money for salary. Let you keep that money for infrastructure. And today, that money is there, being used for infrastructural development. For our tourists and other people who are part of the TDA. We would never have got those roads built today if we have not saved that money. And that 5% is still my discretion. If I believe somebody is investing huge amount of money, and that you request for a reduction, I'll consider it positively. And if I feel it is genuine, I will do it. It's my discretion. It used to be free of charge. I am the one who removed that free of charge. That people also have to contribute towards. Those investors, because we need to give you water, electricity, road network, sewage, everything. If we have to, but it's my discretion today. If I want tomorrow, I scrap it. But I will not scrap it. I'll maintain it. But if you want to invest $40 million or $30 million, I will not take 5% of your money. I will not. But I will take something reasonable out of it to meet that cover and let you go with it. Because you have to also encourage people to invest. What used to be free, now you are paying. You have to be reasonable with it. So that's my position on this.
So now we have the last one, of Standard Newspaper.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. In your deliberation, you made mention of efforts that Gambia is taking in terms of trying to make traveling easier for people coming and living in the Gambia. And then you made mention of how easier it is in other European countries, ticketing and other things. And in tourism, we understand that in tourism, the first impression, they say, is everything in tourism. And knowing fully well that at your airport, there is a lady on travelers incoming and leaving. And this has sparked a lot of complaints among even our own brothers and sisters. As a ministry, are you not going to look into this and review it and ensure that you look into it to see that the complaints that travelers are making is addressed?
Let me make it abundantly clear. This ministry was not involved and is not part of that levy. Categorically clear. We were not involved and we are not part of that levy. And we are doing everything possible to address that unfortunate situation at the airport. The queues and the trouble our tourists are facing at that airport. You can quote me for this statement. Thank you. Somebody came behind you late. John, Mr. John. Yes, he's late, man. Yeah, but you are late. We don't know where you were. We are not talking about where you were. We said just you are late. One more question. One more question, yes? Who is that, Yunus? Mr. Tourism Man. Yes. I have one thing to announce to you, and that is the tourism figures for 2020. We had 89,232. That was a massive drop because of COVID from 230-something thousand. We ended up with 89,000. That was COVID. And year 2021, we had 102,446 tourists. Let me repeat, 2020, 89,232 arrivals. 2021, 102,460 arrivals for the year 2021. We hope that 2022 will be a greater year with all these tour operators now coming back, with all these flights coming back. And we've started seeing our youths enjoying their marriage ceremonies and programs and Grand Rovers moving everywhere, tours, guides, and moving on. And that makes the youths happier and it makes the economy also moving along. Yes.
Thank you
Yunus.
much, Minister. You made mention about the flights in terms of if we are having it here, maybe everything will be a little bit easier. In 2020 or if not 2019, you inaugurated some.
It's 2020.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some members.
Yes. Yes. Air Access. The Air Access Committee. Yes. It was scuttled by COVID. They are yet to present their report, and we are working on it. We want to put all these things into the World Bank project. The tourism policy also have captured it. Yes, don't worry. You are absolutely right. You have a good memory.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
Yes.
And thank you very much, the press, for coming. And we hope to see you very soon again. So if you have any more questions in the future, we have our directors here.
Madam.
We have Mr. Abubakar Kamara of Duty Board, Mr. Hasim Sise of NCAC. We have Temor and Mr. Damfada, the TPS. So if you have any future questions, you can just contact me and I will link you to the right person. Thank you very much, Honorable, for the update.
Yeah, okay. Now, if the papers, he will organize it. The DPS will organize, give it to Madam Wom, and she will give you the statement, okay? If you need it for accurate, if you need it for accurate quotation. Okay?
If you want to receive monies from UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world, Supersonic's money transfer has got you covered. With the largest payout network in the Gambia, you can now receive your monies anywhere you are, from Kartong to Koina, with less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonic's money transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics.